Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title, today I wanted to do something a little bit different, challenge myself. And when I was searching YouTube, I was trying to see if anyone had done this already, but all I could find was about 2 videos and they were labeled as trying tester makeup, using face of all tester makeup, things like that. I didn't really watch the video, so I don't know if they did it exactly how I wanted to do it today. But today, on top of using all mini makeup, all mini sample sizes and things like that, I wanted to use all mini tools. So some of the mini samples are things I have tried, and some of them are things I don't really use, and they kind of just come in my Ipsy, or I've gotten at Ulta, Sephora with my points, things like that. So I wanted to take all of them, see if I could make a video using all of these sample small size products and the smallest brushes I could find and my little beauty blender. It's so little. So I'm going to be using the mini beauty blender. If you want to see what's about to go down, then just keep on watching. Before we go into makeup, I wanted to just prep and moisturize my skin with my mini Clinique moisturizer. This is just a moisturizer that you can actually wear under or over your makeup, which I thought was pretty cool. It's just gonna moisturize the skin, give you a smooth base for when you're applying foundation, things like that. Next up, we are going to prime the face. The Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. This one is going to fill the pores and give you a smooth, even texture. I'm gonna take the pore filler primer and just a little bit on my ring finger and just press that into the nose area. I have used this primer, I just don't use it normally because I don't really feel the need to. I do use it on my upper lip sometimes though. I find that it just gives a better look all around. And then just a little bit up the bridge of the nose and onto the forehead. And bring it back down and around the sides of the mouth and on the chin. Smashbox Photo Finish Radiance Primer. The Radiance Primer is going to give you a glowy base. So I'm going to be applying this on the high points of the cheeks and the high point areas of my face. So you basically want the Radiance Primer wherever the sun will hit naturally, so on the higher points of your face, like your cheekbones, your nose, bridge of your nose, above your brow, your chin, and your upper lip. Last but not least, I'm using a ton of primers. I'm using primers I normally don't use, so I wanted to use a few of them, and I have a ton of mini samples of them. Too Faced Coconut Hangover Primer. This is going to give you hydration in the areas that you may be more dry in, and focus that on my cheek area. This is just going to smooth out this area and really give it hydration and make it look supple and plump. My cheeks tend to have a little bit of texture. I'm not sure if I have rosacea or what. If you are unsure of your skin conditions, you should definitely go see a dermatologist. They will be able to give you a definite answer if you do have something, if you don't have something. So now for the part I've been dreading, foundation. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Invisible Coverage Foundation in R230. I think it's a little bit too dark for me, but I'm just gonna have to work with it. It's the only mini foundation I had. And I'm going to be taking it on my mini beauty blender. I am so nervous for this part. I feel like it's going to take me so long. Take a little bit on there. It definitely did get into the crevices a little bit better though. I think so far it's just easier to get in between the brows, above the brow, on the top of the eye, just a little bit under the brow, and the creases of the nose. I'm just gonna stamp this onto my neck to make sure I somewhat match. Gonna drag it a little bit. Oh yeah, this is not my color. We're gonna make it my color. I swear it's been like 5 minutes already. honestly, use your samples. Like, there is nothing wrong with having small versions of makeup. Use them up. They are just as good of quality as the full size. And half the time they're free. You can definitely go into Sephora and get foundation samples. I've done that to try out foundations because not everybody has $50 to spend on a foundation right off the bat. So go ahead and try stuff out before you purchase it instead of purchasing it and returning it. This foundation is definitely a beautiful foundation. I don't think it's super full coverage. I think it's more like a medium coverage, but I can definitely build it up. And for an everyday glam, I think it would be a good foundation. If you're wanting to go like full glam, full coverage, I would probably look elsewhere or really just try to build it up with concealers and powders and things like that to get your ultimate coverage. Next up, I'm going to be going in with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Illumination Anti-Aging Waterproof Concealer. So this is in the shade medium. I do not think it's going to match. I feel like it's going to be a lot darker. So I am kind of nervous to put this on. So I'm going to put a little bit on the tip of the concealer because it looks very thick and it says full coverage. So I'm going to take that and just start, ooh, that was probably way too much. I'm gonna put a little over here. Start blending that out. So far it looks really dewy, really brightening actually. So for the shade medium, I was a little worried it was gonna be like way too dark. Maybe because it reflects so much light, it doesn't look darker. I'm not exactly sure. But you can see how well that covered my right eye. It is very thick, very illuminating, so I don't hate it so far. I'm gonna take that on the chin, and actually I'm just gonna flip this side around. Doing this with the mini beauty blender is killing me. Take a little above the lip. I can feel it's very tacky, very thick. It doesn't feel, feels a little heavy maybe on the outer portion of the eye, but I don't necessarily feel it in this area of the eye. Doesn't really feel like I'm wearing a thick foundation. I mean concealer. I'm gonna take a little bit more on the tip of the beauty blender and just push that onto the bridge of my nose, flip it over, bounce it out, and take that into the inner corner of the eyes. That definitely brightened up the face for the shade medium. I'm pretty surprised with how bright it looks. I normally am not one to go like 2 shades lighter. I normally go about 1 shade lighter, and I feel like this would definitely be about 1 shade lighter than the foundation. If you go to Ulta, I would probably advise swatching them on the back of your hand and seeing if you maybe would need a darker shade than you normally would, because I would never pick up medium. I would pick up like light or fair, and I feel like fair or light would be probably way too light for me, way too light for my liking. If you like that brighter under eye, then probably go with your normal shade you would choose. So on top of the cheekbones, I'm just gonna take a little bit of MAC Strobe Cream in Pink Light. This is just kind of like an illumination cream, kind of like a liquid highlighter, but not to that level necessarily, more like a moisturizer that definitely has a lot of glow. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on there and then press this into the high points of the cheeks, above the brow. This is just gonna give you a really nice glow. It has pink reflex, so it's just gonna reflect a little bit of like a pink shimmer, but nothing too drastic. I really want to try the yellow light, or I think it's Yellow Light that Desi Perkins always uses. I feel like that one would look really beautiful, but that is, I just have the pink light in the sample size. So, all right, now that we've pressed that into the skin, now that all the liquids are done, I'm gonna be going into powder. The Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. It is basically just a setting powder. It has a kind of like a pink hue. I'm really hoping it is a little bit more translucent. I've definitely used this before. I remember I used to use it a lot, but that was in like 2014 and it is now 2018. So this is probably when I got this. So it's probably expired. Buy new makeup kits. So I guess I don't have much left in it. So I'm gonna have to actually take off this top piece just to be able to get all the powder out that I need. Oops. I actually used a lot more than I thought. I mean, it is only a small, you know, size, but I don't know if you can see that, but that is all that is left in the whole container. Hopefully that is enough to set my whole face. I'm just gonna dip my brush into there. I'm just gonna try to press that in. Ooh, I don't know how this is gonna go over. I don't feel like it's giving me any like color or anything. Maybe a pink shift, not really though. I'm just trying to, this is so hard because everything is so little. I thought about using the little beauty blender, but maybe I'll use that for under the eyes. It's definitely mattifying. I would prefer to like put it on and just like sweep it all over the face, but I feel like I kind of have to like press it in because I don't have. It's definitely set over here. It should be enough for the whole face actually. I'm just gonna sweep that up and down the neck. I'm going to press that in over here. My face is definitely set to my liking. Next, I am going to be taking the littlest bronzer slash contour I could find slash had. This is, what I want to say is the Elizabeth Matte. It's Elizabeth Matte. I have no idea the name. The color. It's definitely a little bit more of a cool tone brown, so I figured it would be good for contouring. So I'm going to be taking the little mini brush that comes in the Hoola bronzers and things like that. And just going to, smells good. Whatever it is, it smells good. Just gonna take that back and forth, get some good color on the brush. This is a mess. Why am I doing this? And then I'm just gonna angle it upward and do a little sweeping motion.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I don't know if I'm loving this bronzer or if it's the blush or if it's the powder. Something's definitely picking up my foundation. I'm not loving that. Maybe if I go in with the same brush that I powdered, maybe I'll use that one. Maybe it's the brush. It's definitely looking a little patchy for my liking. Okay, so let's try this brush. This is a little Pro Mini Flawless Airbrush. So I'm just gonna take some on there, tap it off, do the same thing on the angle, and then just give it more circular motions. Oh yeah, this is looking a lot better than that side. Oh, it's still, I think it's because the foundation must still be a little bit wet, but it's definitely picking up the foundation. Something is picking up the foundation. Now that we are all bronzed, we are going to take the Balm Springs Longwear Blush in Full Swing. So I am also going to be taking the same brush for contour because I didn't really have a ton of brushes. I have more for the eyeshadow and obviously the little beauty blender. So I'm just going to dip into the blush. Oh, it's pigmented. Tap that off. Good little smirk. Just tap that onto the cheeks and circular motions backwards. I'm going to be taking it closer to the nose, going over the nose as well to give a little sunburn effect. I like this. It's definitely cute. I've actually never touched this. I have no idea when I even got it. It was definitely probably an Ipsy or Birchbox or something like that. I'm getting like blushy, pinky, peachy. Very descriptive. And I'm just gonna go over it just a tad in this region just to make sure it's blended out and not too harsh. Next, we're gonna go into highlighter. I wanna say that this is Urban Decay in Sin. It is a very light pink, better for fair skin than like tan, medium to dark. You want to make sure that your highlighter doesn't look like a white strip or a dark strip on your cheeks when you look forward. So I'm going to apply this. I'm actually going to try to use that little Hula blush again. And nothing. So I'm done using that brush. I actually pulled out the brushes that were in my palettes. So for mini brushes. So I'm going to take this Anastasia one that came in either the Subculture or the Modern Renaissance and just swirl it around in here. Really try to pick that up and then just lightly dust it across the cheek. Oh yeah, that's way better. So you can see that when I look forward, it's reflective, but it's not like a cast. It doesn't look like I have something weird on my cheek. It looks like it is a highlighter. I'm just gonna take a little bit on this side as well. I stop really about at the end of the eye. I said that in my last video. And just circular motions. Normally this wouldn't take as long if you had a real highlighter brush. And then I'm gonna take a little bit above the lip. On the bridge of the nose only. So the same thing in my last video, I don't actually apply highlighter to the tip of the nose. Go a little bit above the eyebrows. Just give a nice little glow. And above the other one. So now that we're basically done with our face, I'm going to be taking the MAC Prep and Prime. This is just the Fix Plus, the normal version, not glowy, not anything like that, in the mini size. I'm gonna go back in and tap that out with my mini beauty blender. Setting spray is going to help your makeup last and just give it a more natural finish, make all that powder and anything like that melt into the skin. And it's actually gonna push those little hairs that come up back down. It's gonna give you a more overall glowy appearance. So now that the face is all done, we're gonna be going on to eyes. So the only mini eyeshadow quads I could find were also from the Balm Cosmetics. So I have the Balm Voyage, Willkomen, Cabana Boy, blush / eyeshadow in Cabana Boy, and a mini from the Nude Dude in Flirty. So I'm going to take that same Anastasia brush and use the Willkomen. I'm assuming that's what it's called, Willkomen. And then just tap that in there, tap it off, and then go into the crease as a transition. Blending out really nicely. I'm actually going to take that same color and just go ahead and pop it underneath as well, since I know I'm already going to do it. See if I get kind of like a smoked out, winged out look. Next, I'm gonna take that Cabana Boy in this like mauvey pink color and use the other side that is more of a stiffer packing brush moment. And I'm going to take that and actually apply that all over the lid. Mostly gonna focus it on the front and the back because I'm gonna be doing a halo eye. I'm gonna bring that across in the crease and then just take that other side, blend it out. And then I'm going to take this mini Dose of Colors brush and take this kind of like flat side, spritz my brush, and then go into that flirty color. And then I'm going to apply that to the center of the lid. This color is kind of like a goldy purple mauve color. Not showing up very brightly. I'm gonna dip in with my finger. It kind of created a little layer. So I'm gonna dip in with my finger instead of using the wet brush. Yeah, that's definitely better. It's coming off and giving more of that gold shift that I know is there. So I'm just gonna blend that out a little bit more. I'm gonna go back into that pink shade and just brighten that up around it. Just blend it in a little bit. And then the front. And then I'm going to take that smaller side and go into the Elizabeth Mott highlighter and give my inner corner a little brightness. Like that. I'm gonna go for the brow bone since this nothing's really a matte look, it's all kind of dewy. And yeah, that is what I have come up with so far. So I'm gonna do the same to the other eye. I was really indecisive whether or not I wanted to do a wing. I think I'm just going to take, I was gonna take the Urban Decay 24-Hour Glide On Eye Pencil in Pervision. I think I'm going to just try to add that a little bit to the lower waterline and smoke that out with the bronze shade. To finish off this look, I'm going to be taking the Benefit Roller Lash. The one looks like this. It has a little bit of a curve on it. So I'm going to apply that to the top and the bottom lashes. I love this mascara. I've literally only had it in this mini version though. So I've literally been using this. I use this all the time. Like anytime I wear mascara, I'm using this little mini version of the Roller Lash because I love it so much. And I need to go purchase a full size, but have yet to do that. I feel like it separates the lashes so well. It makes them look so long. Now I'm gonna apply that to the lower lash line and blend that in with the black eyeliner. It even makes the bottom lashes look amazing. So then I'm gonna take that, do the next eye, and I will be right back. If you get any mascara anywhere, top or bottom lid, just wait for it to dry and then you wanna take the end of your spoolie and just scrape it off. And it literally just flakes right off. Last but not least, I was actually able to find a mini lip liner. It is Model Co. It is the Illusion lip liner. So I'm just gonna take that and line my lips really quick. It is a really nice nude. It's definitely not too creamy, not too dry. Next up, I wanted to go in with a mini Buxom lipstick. It is Matte Naturally Darling. And I feel like this is a really good peachy color. It almost matches the blush color that we use. So this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed. It was kind of fun using products I never really use, using mini products, and definitely trying to use the mini beauty blender was definitely a challenge. If you enjoyed this video, once again, I would love if you've subscribed, leave a comment down below letting me know how you like the look, if there's products that you love that you recommend me trying out, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Okay.